You might have noticed the hordes of influencers out there trying to sell you courses on how to become rich. And I just think it's so ironic because how are they going to sell you a course on how to become rich when they became rich by creating content and selling courses on how to become rich? And it's really frustrating to me to see like hardworking people spending their hard-earned money on these courses. In fact, I've never seen a single person that has bought this kind of content or binged it and then gone on to become some kind of, I guess, great success. If you know anyone, let me know. I'm definitely open to changing my mind there. But they always say things like you have to invest in your future and things like that, which is true. But I think the most important type of investment you can ever make in your future is education. And that doesn't mean that you have to go to college or go to school, extra schooling or anything. The internet is the greatest resource right now. We even have AI that makes learning even easier. But something that those knowledge sources cannot replace is consistent practice. And that's one of the things that I want to point out. So these influencers, even though they're shilling you garbage content, I think that underneath that layer of trash is some diamonds. So you can see that they clearly have some skills, like articulacy, for example, which is what I'm seeing more and more, that it is a very high value skill because it allows you to sell people on anything. Because you sound convincing, you sound like a fucking genius whenever you can speak clearly and pretty much weave stories out of thin air in real time, especially real time, because that's how you like prove your mental acuity, right? But it's very difficult whenever not everyone gets a chance to. Well, you do always have a chance to just speak to, for example, a camera like me. Right now, I'm just speaking to you through a camera lens, and I'm practicing my free form speech. So it's it is still very difficult. I have a dozen voices in my head pulling me in different directions right now, and I can feel myself honing in on the one thread, and it's very easy to lose track. I'm honestly like getting on track, on the path of losing track right now if I don't rein myself back back into what we were talking about. So we were talking about influencers. We were talking about the skills that they have underneath that are actually valuable, like articulacy, and they also have very clear goals. So this all ties back in with my theme this week for my series of words and wisdom. It is the word this week is sovereignty, or in Latin superinus, and it is when you have full control over your life, whenever you have complete control of your life's narrative. So it's very interesting to me because this is not something that really became clear to me until very recently. Whenever I heard on some podcast, it was you have to build trust with yourself. So let's say I, like in the past, for example, I would tell myself that I would work out and I would miss a day. Or I'd say I'd wake up early and work out, but then I wouldn't wake up early. I lost credibility with myself. And then, I mean, why would I push myself to work out later in the day? I'm already a piece of shit early in the morning, so later in the day, I'm going to continue to be a piece of shit. I'm going to identify as a piece of shit, basically. So, the main idea here is whenever you take accountability for yourself and you take yourself seriously, you can achieve great things because you then build rapport with yourself. You trust yourself to get shit done. So, for example, I actually promised myself that I would make a video every other day, but I want so badly to establish trust with myself right now that I'm trying to go ahead and make a video every single day to practice the skill of articulacy and in real time show you that someone who was stuttering and stumbling over their words, every other word, just a few weeks ago, can begin to speak fluently with more clarity and deliver some kind of message that is actually meaningful. Yeah, so going back a little bit, so credibility with yourself. That ties into sovereignty because whenever you have that crystal clear, what is it? Crystal clear credibility, trust with yourself. So that means you have a great internal vision of your past. You can then build a stronger internal vision of your future. So, for example, if my goal in the future is to have a great podcast where I can speak to people that I admire and talk about things that I want to talk about and do things that I want to do whenever I want to do them, then I need to not only build that crystal clear image of my past, but the crystal clear image of my future so that I can know exactly what to do in the present and trust myself to do those things to get where I need to go. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think it does. So, I mean, honestly, I had a moment of like, oh man, that was I delivered that pretty well. And then I completely lost track of the train of thought. And that's completely normal. I've seen that happen to me hundreds of times over the past few weeks. And honestly, this is like the 10th time I've done this video today. I usually get like a minute or two in and then I just start fucking up. But today, or just now, I think I nailed it pretty nicely. So, why is this so effective? So, if you have a clear vision of the future, clear trust with yourself, you can pretty much do anything. And I mean, there's not really much to sell here, but I do want to have you on the journey with me. I want to provide as much value in this world as humanly possible because I know that's how I'll achieve my freedom. I'm not some kind of altruistic being, but I know the more value you provide to the world, the more freedom, the more value you can amass for yourself. So in showing you this process and that it's possible, I'm hoping to lift up maybe millions of people because it's not something that should be gate kept to people with like some kind of high IQ or were born some kind of way. I think if anyone was born lucky enough to be born able-bodied and like of average sound mind, they're capable of a lot more than they believe. And you're free to what's called disagree with me, but I don't really care. So hopefully you agree with me and join me on this journey, subscribe and check out the upcoming words that are following this. But so yeah, the journey from my perspective is going to be we're going to build up a large vocabulary of very powerful words that will help us internalize a better version of our future or help us internalize a vision of our future that we want to achieve. And I don't know about your path after that, but for me, the next step would be to work on not just doing this camera conversation, but I want to bring in actual people and work on my conversational skills one-on-one, maybe through video chat or whatever. But I really want to be able to do this in real time with live human beings. And yeah, I just want to see where this goes. So I'll see you next time.